All right, it's getting late. It's almost midnight. Let's go, Venkman.
Here's something off the request line from Liberty Island.
They're some of the most instantly recognizable structures in the world. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 iconic statues. For this list, we're ranking the most impressive and widely known statues from around the world. Size, scope, and construction will be taken into consideration, but we'll also be judging how these statues have inserted themselves into the public consciousness and remained there. Number 10. The Thinker.
The Thinker.
This bronze sculpture by French artist Auguste Rodin stands in the garden of Philadelphia's Rodin Museum and is often used to represent the study of philosophy and its impact on humanity. Rodin first began what would become the Thinker in 1880, but the contemplative work we know and love today did not arrive until 1904. Essentially a nude male figure, he appears lost in deep thought, with his chin resting on one hand, presumably contemplating such ideas as existence and knowledge. It's a memorable image, and one that often serves as inspiration for the poets, artists, writers, and musicians who visit it on a daily basis.
All right, well, I got two poses to choose from. The Thinker or the Stinker.
Number 9. The Motherland Calls. Notable as the tallest female statue in the world, serving as a symbol of Russian pride and rivaling the famed worker and Kolkhoz woman sculptures, the Motherland Calls represents Russia's victory in Stalingrad against the Axis powers during World War II. Utilizing a combination of concrete and wire rope, sculptor Yevgeny Vuchevich and structural engineer Nikolai Nikitin collaborated on the project, which depicts a warrior woman with a sword in her right hand and a welcoming gesture with her left. Indeed, the Motherland Calls remains an impressive piece of art to this day, standing not only as a memory of Russian military prowess, but of the country itself. Number 8. The Terracotta Army.
There's a huge range of faces here, very individual, very individual.
While many statues are impressive because of their volume, the Terracotta Army is impressive based on its sheer quantity. This collection of horses, warriors, and chariots was buried with China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, with the intent of offering him protection during his journey to the afterlife, and is made up of thousands of individual sculptures. Since its 1974 discovery, the 3rd century BC Terracotta Army has earned international appreciation, thanks to its impressive image of ancient feudal China. Other non-military figures were also carved and buried in other pits, including acrobats and musicians, which were likely intended to keep the emperor amused and entertained.
When the emperor built the wall, he buried his enemies underneath it and cursed their souls to hold it up for eternity.
Number 7. The Leshan Giant Buddha.
10 stories high, 100 monks could sit on just one foot, and if he stood up, he'd almost be eye to eye with the Statue of Liberty.
This Tang Dynasty statue is a huge, impressive structure indeed, standing at 233 feet tall and carved out of a cliff face in southern China, near the city of Leshan. It's the largest stone statue of Buddha in the world, and is said to have taken so much material out of the cliff during its construction that the currents of the surrounding Dadu, Minxiang, and Qingyi rivers were changed due to falling deposits. The creators of the Leshan Giant Buddha even constructed a drainage system in order to minimize weathering damage from the surrounding elements. This has kept the iconic statue in surprisingly good shape, especially considering its over 1,300-year history.
Like most old fellas, the Buddha's got a little bit of foliage growing out of his ears and nose, but he's looking pretty good for 1,300. So between you and me, I think he's had a bit of work done.
Number 6. The Venus de Milo.
That is the rarest gummy of them all, the gummy Venus de Milo, carved by gummy artisans who work exclusively in the medium of gummy.
There are plenty of iconic Greek sculptures out there, but this one might be the most famous. The Venus de Milo was likely constructed around 100 BC and is representative of Aphrodite, Greek goddess of love and desire. The most famous aspect of the Venus de Milo, her absent limbs, actually has nothing to do with its construction, but rather its condition.
She has one less arm than you. Yeah, but I can surf.
The statue, also known as the Aphrodite of Milos, was actually discovered like this on the Greek island of Milos prior to it being displayed in the Louvre in France. And yet, this damage has only gone on to serve as one of the ancient Greek sculpture's most memorable and defining characteristics.
What a beauty! Kind of reminds me of that statue, the babe without the arms.
Venus de Milo.
The name was Milo, but that's beside the point.
Number 5. The Statue of Liberty.
Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Whether she's naked under that toga. She's French. You know that.
This gigantic and iconic statue serves not only as one of the most easily recognizable sculptures in the entire world, but also as a national symbol of freedom and of the country of the United States. Designed in copper by Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi and built by Gustave Eiffel, the statue was gifted to America from the people of France in 1886. The date of America's Declaration of Independence is inscribed upon Lady Liberty's tablet of law. Meanwhile, the shattered shackles of oppression lie at her feet, representing the country's tolerance of immigrants within its borders, and serving as a symbol of hope, freedom, and justice for all who enter. Number 4. Michelangelo's David.
It's my masterpiece. Yeah, but why'd you give me such a small penis? Penis? Yeah, you gave me the world's tiniest penis.
The biblical figure of King David has been cast by many sculptors over the course of history, but it's Michelangelo's marble depiction of him that is probably the most well-known in the world. The sculpture combines male beauty, form, and strength in its representation of a nude David, with eyes affixed firmly in a telling and defiant stare.
Look at it, it's like a baby's pinky. Lorenzo, I just sculpted what I saw. You know what, you could have at least enhanced it a little. I thought I did.
The biblical king's reputation as a wise and fearsome warrior was well documented in such stories as his battle with Goliath, while the statue's home city of Florence was often threatened by larger rivals, such as Rome. With David's symbolic protection, however, Florence felt it had enough strength to survive and thrive against adversity.
Peter, you bought the statue of David?
No, I just rented it. And they're gonna be ticked, though. The penis broke off while I was loading it into the car.
Number 3. The Moai.
Name's Larry.
No, your name Dum Dum.
These mysterious and ominous statues serve as the stoic guardians of Easter Island, a Pacific island near the Polynesian Triangle. The Moai statues are defined by their large and imposing heads, which sit atop sturdy bodies carved from tuff, a type of rock that is formed from volcanic ash. The Moai were carved by the Rapa Nui, the indigenous Polynesians of Easter Island, who see the statues as their most precious resource. Indeed, the Rapa Nui absolutely depend on tourism, and all of the travelers who come to the small Chilean island to see these iconic sculptures in the flesh.
See you later, Dum Dum.
Number 2. Christ the Redeemer.
I sort of think from a distance, Jesus, top of a hill, looking like he's about to bungee jump.
This gigantic symbol of Christianity is one of the most easily recognizable statues in the world, thanks to its depiction of a regal Jesus Christ whose outstretched arms welcome all who enter into the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Christ the Redeemer possesses a truly international construction history, with its face having been designed by Romanian artist Gheorghe Leonida, with the other members of the collaborative team including France's Albert Cacot, the Polish-French artist Paul Landowski, as well as Brazil's own Heitor da Silva Costa. Its sheer size and scope are impressive when seen from land, sea, and air. So much so that Christ the Redeemer has been listed as one of the new 7 wonders of the world.
I say, but when I was looking up, I thought the chin looks a bit big. It's like that. All the rest of it is brilliant, the proportions, his arms and that, his body, but they just need to chip away a bit more, I reckon.
Before we reveal our top iconic statue, here are some honorable mentions.
Mohammed Gay is an accountant who works and lives in the neighborhood near the statue. He is also a Muslim, and he says the scantily clad woman does not reflect Senegal's religious views.
He was responsible, Michelangelo, that is, for helping to put it back together. And in the process of doing so, of course, he would have had to repair it, maybe even polish it.
Why did they look so different?
Had colonists from Africa carved them? Were they the work of survivors from Atlantis?
Number 1. The Great Sphinx of Giza.
So I spent 5 years here, mapping every stone to scale. This was my office, and I would take my breaks here.
This great mythological creature traditionally possesses the body of a lion and the head of a human. Depending on whether we're talking ancient Greece or ancient Egypt, sometimes giant wings from an eagle. The Great Sphinx of Giza, which, like most Egyptian sphinxes, doesn't have wings, is the most regal and iconic of all the sculpted sphinxes in the world, standing as the largest monolith at over 241 feet long and 66 feet high. The human face of the Great Sphinx is said to represent that of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Khafra of the 4th dynasty. There are many mysteries swirling around the actual construction and purpose of the Great Sphinx, including how its nose became damaged and missing, which has led to archaeological discussions that continue to this very day. Do you agree with our list? Which statue do you feel is the most iconic? For more impressive top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.